Professor Oluwafemi, sorry. You know, Dr. Kavita was closing, and it was not easy because the people had to understand. So it was great. It was really great. So we have also new students, and it's just amazing.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, so we were looking at that, and we were exploring the concept of the sociology of spirituality. As you know, this is our class of transpersonal psychology. So I'm going to share my I'll share my slide with you guys for us to see and hear how we. Okay, so we're looking at transpersonal sociology. Yeah. In this class. So what we'll be exploring today, we'll be looking at the different types of spirituality within the confinement of what sociologists believe that is spirituality. And then we'll be looking at the differences between religion and. So to start from, for the sake of our friends that are new, you know, and also to just have a kind of refresh. So when we said, what is spirituality? And that is the first thing we look at. Said spirituality is a place within yourself where your soul can find a sense of peace. It is a concept completely liberated from any rules, institution, or hierarchy. And it is dedicated to the human soul. I'll say it again. Say, spirituality is the place within yourself where your soul can find a sense of peace. And it is a concept completely liberated from any rules, institutions, or hierarchy. And it is dedicated to the human soul. Okay. Spirituality, it's also a personal experience, you know, a personal experience that creates a system of personal beliefs when searching for the meaning of life. And it stands for something greater. Hello, please can we mute our audio? Thank you guys. Thank you. Please let's mute our audio. Thank you. So again, I said spirituality is a personal experience that creates a system of personal beliefs when searching for the meaning of life. So it stands for something greater in life than the physical or material world, you know. And spirituality also is a way of dealing with everyday challenges. Now, I'm going to talk more about this because our belief in transpersonal psychology is that spirituality has a great impact on our everyday life. Yeah. So spirituality is also a way of dealing with everyday challenges in life and connecting with something bigger than yourself. Being spiritual can mean different things to different people. For some, spirituality can be related to religion and even higher power. For others, it can be a non-religious experience, such as connecting with nature, heart, yoga, meditation, and many other things. So a non-religious, so one of the fundamental principles of transpersonal psychology is that we have a concept of spirituality that is non-religious concept of spirituality. So for here, I really want us to look at how can my spirituality help me to meet the challenges of my life? If I'm truly spiritual, what are the practical implications of this? Shall we discuss that? Yes. I'm going to start from our queen. How can spirituality impact my daily life? What is the essence of being spiritual? Is there any relevance of spirituality, more so in this 21st century, in the postmodern world that we live, that people are less religious? So what is the place of spirituality in this present day that we find ourselves? Yes, shall we discuss that? Thank you.
Okay, good evening, everybody. Yes, for me, spirituality is, I will start by religion, you know. Religion is helping you to find God. Spirituality, you are already in God. You understand what is the meaning of God. Because spirituality, you are going to the real source. Religion is helping you and guiding you to this source. And all depend of your level of understanding of the religion. Some people are in the same religion, but they don't understand the same things of the religion. So the religion sometimes it's limiting you to the religion. For example, when you are praying in religion, you are praying a God outside of you. You are looking at the sky, you are looking at the stars, and you think that he is above you. Okay? But in spirituality, you will see God everywhere. And the first place of God is within you.
Amazing.
You know, this is the difference. This is what I think, Professor Oluwafemi.
Yes, thank you. I mean, it's very profound what you say, Your Highness. But my concern is there a relevance to spirituality and our mental health? What is the impact of that? If for me being spiritual, will that impact my mental health? Will that lead to me to be more productive? What is the relevance of spirituality in my pragmatic life? That is a question. Anyone, please, you are free to contribute. This is a dialogue class. Yeah. Yes. What is the impact of spirituality on our mental health? Yes, your Highness. Go ahead.
Yeah. How spirituality impact in my life? I will speak about my personal life. Thanks to spirituality, I discover who I am.
Wow.
Thanks to spirituality, I have not discovered who I am, what is my origin, but also where I am going, what I want to be in this life. I found my goal. I found my destiny. I found my source. I found my peace of mind, because I have another vision of the world, a world of unity. And I have seen how this world is a world of unity in its exploded and divided version. You know, like we are all one, but no one is really aware of that we are all one, because we are like a puzzle in a moving pieces, you know, and only this illusion of division is manipulating us, is guiding us. So spirituality helped me to understand and get the true vision that we are one. Even in this low world, we are one. Only the physical body is dividing us. But the great things, the positive things is I identify myself as a spirit, not as body. This is why I am connected with everybody, and we are all connected in the same divine love. So spirituality is the peace of mind, the unconditional love and unity of everybody.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Your Royal Highness. Professor Paula, thank you for joining our class. Please go ahead and let's hear from you.
Thank you very much. First of all, it's a pleasure to be here. I say that for me, spirituality is a very important part in my life because this helps me to have this connection with a mission that I have, that in my case, I think that is to be a teacher and to do whatever I can to help others in my teaching or in other things, and also help me to connect with people that feels the same way. So we are like in the same vibration, in the same thinking and thoughts and believing. So that's very important, because whenever you are your spirituality is strong, and that's the source of your energy and your ideas, is that your projects, your life, it's better. You meet with people that teach you a lot. So you are here. I'm amazed with the people that I have met that are teaching me so many things, and that's amazing, because they it's like connecting with people that helps you become better person. So it's like every meeting, every talk, every conference that I have participated here, it's like you have something to think, to change, to reflect upon. So this makes us to better persons.
Good. Thank you so much, Professor. I'm so glad to have you in this class today. That's so beautiful. Thank you for your contribution. Yes, let's go to the Prince. Prince, yeah. Yes, welcome to the class today. Yes, go ahead, Prince. Let's hear you. Yes, Prince Riyadh, can you hear me, sir? The Prince, are you there?
I think he has to unmute himself.
Oh, Prince Riyadh, you have to unmute yourself. Please. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, finally, he did that.
Yeah.
Well done.
Yeah, right. Spirituality is related with religion. Religion is the complete code of life. Suppose you cannot do your prayer today, you feel guilty. Guiltiness is automatically arise in your mind. It is the combination of body, mind, and soul. So it's a great impact in a mental health.
Yeah.
Suppose you cannot complete your prayer in 1 month, your mental health is automatically weak.
Wow.
To me.
Please, that's a serious.
Yeah.
That's a serious statement. We need to examine that statement under the elaboration.
Yeah. It's came from always the God side.
So you are saying if you miss a prayer, Prince. So if you miss a prayer, let me ask you this question: if you miss prayer, if you miss
guiltiness is automatically calm. Guiltiness is automatically calm in your mind.
Why is
if
that?
This condition goes, if this condition goes on,
why
you will be automatically weak mentally. No. So it is directly related with mental health.
Please. So if you miss your prayer, so you are going to feel. You are going to feel. Does that make you less spiritual? And this is what I want to
that.
Does that make
is the impact of spirituality? Yeah. That is the impact of spirituality. It is directly related with mental health.
Okay. I'll come back to you, sir. Okay,
not only health, also body, mind, and soul togetherly. Not only health, it also related with body, mind, and soul togetherly.
Of course, yes, of course. But I'm still coming back to that question. Mr. Derek, please go ahead.
All right, thank you very much. Yes. I think I would like to talk about this topic, especially in the context of spirituality. To begin with, I would like to say that when you talk about the word spiritual, when we go into the universal law, we understand that spiritually, we are created in the image of our creator and in his likeness. Then when we go back to the laws of to the universal law, we understand that we are more of the spirit more than our physical being. So this states that even before we were created physically, somewhere spiritually, we were created. So it is very, very, very important and vital to understand that our spiritual aspect owns us more than our physical being. And we have really missed it, especially in the context where we just want to balance our physical being, not balancing our spiritual life. From that concept, our life has been really misunderstood, and it is very, very difficult for people to understand. So it is very important to have this topic so that at least we can try to reflect on some thoughts. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you, Mr. Derek Chanda. Thank you. That was very beautiful, beautifully said. And I'm going to take two more contributions. Now, back to the question I liked that Mr. Prince said. So if I miss my prayer for one reason or the other, does that make me less spiritual? I want somebody to tell me about that. Yeah, Mr. Emmanuel, yes, go ahead.
Thank you very much. Spirituality has really helped me to understand life, and it has helped me to find my purpose in life, and it also helped me to align my thoughts and choices in life. And in that case, I'm always focused on the positive energies in life, which is more spiritual than physical, and it controls the physical being in everything I do on a daily basis, and makes me feel more alive. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you so much, Brother Male, for saying that. Yeah, I will take one more contribution before I now summarize what is the transpersonal philosophy in terms of how spirituality relates to our very existence. Yeah. So, Sister Monira, yes, go ahead.
Thanks for this opportunity. So according to me, the religion and everything, whatever we have been guided all through our life, it is just because so that we can explore our life through consciousness. I would like to say that as long as we are aware, as long as we are clear, we definitely should have the clarity of everything. So to have the clarity, we must be aware. Every way, I would like to say that there is a cosmic energy. Of course, we have to be mindful. Suppose I want to give an example, living example. We are attending this great mind-blowing classes, but we are not attentive. Okay, our professor, we at the same time want to do thousands of things together. But I want to make one more important thing to all our international leaders, intellectuals here, that we should pay attention to only one thing at a time. Very mindful, be very mindful. And as per our consciousness, religion can make us on a sublime journey. Spirituality is something you have to adopt and be aware by exploring. And I would like to say, as much we aware, suppose another example is our Queen Nadia is a living book for me, a great library for us, because she is so aware and she is making this great journey through her work. That's why after knowing her, I became so much attracted to all her activities, and I am driving my all people here. Why? Because this is the thing we should adopt. In terms of learning, we have to explore, evolve one by one. So thanks a lot, Professor. You are so learned and you make things so brighter.
Thank you.
Together we are on an enlightened journey. So that is our opportunity, wonderful opportunity, when our Highness has given us. Thanks a lot. Thank you.
Thank you, Sister Manura, for that feedback. That was so fantastic. I really appreciate that. Now, let me just summarize what all our wonderful contributors have said so far in this class. Starting from what Queen Ada said, that the spirituality is not just something to associate with. That is the core of your identity. I'll say it again. Spirituality is the core of your identity, and that is who you are. You are not your body. You are not your house. Your body is just the capsule that you are wearing to navigate the physical world, the physical existence. Yeah. So your true essence, your true nature is you are a spirit. That is who you are. Thank you, Professor. Is your body is the suit you are wearing? Spirituality is not something to identify with. A lot of people, well, that is who you are. That is the core of your existence. You are a spirit, and when the time goes on, at the time you leave this body and you continue to exist. Why? Because you exist beyond time and space. That is who you are. Your identity exists beyond time and space. So you are a spirit. That's it. That's what we believe in transpersonal psychology. And that is the foundational philosophy in transpersonal psychology. However, today we're looking at the sociological aspect of that. So if we are a spirit, and the Queen said it beautifully, that, and then Professor Paula also said it beautifully, that you connect with people, because sociology is how we bring spirituality within the society. Is it possible for me? The question now is it possible for me to experience my true essence within a community? That is transpersonal sociology. Yes, it is possible. Why? Because you can connect with people based on spiritual identity. The problem with most humanity is that we are connecting with people based on profession, ethnicity, our bank account, social classes. Do you see that? Those are superficial, temporary connection point. The true connection is through our spirit, which is universal. And this is where peace and unity comes in. And that's what Her Majesty the Queen said beautifully, because that is where there's no divide. Why is that? Because there's no gender in the spirit. There's neither male or female in the spirit. So there's no gender discrimination. There's no color in the spirit. There's neither Greek nor Jew in the spirit, because spirit has no color. That is your essence. That is your essence. That is your true nature. And that is fundamental to transpersonal psychology. And that's what we strongly believe in transpersonal psychology, a non-religious concept, of spirituality. So that is it. So tonight we're going to look at different types of spirituality, which some of you, in your contribution so far, some of you have already mentioned that. So we'll be looking at, so tonight I really want you to be open-minded, because the problem with spirituality is that because we cannot separate religion from spirituality. We cannot. Today someone asked me that question. And I said, he said, you are a reverend. Yeah, by the way, I'm a priest. I'm an ordained priest. And the guy said, oh, but you are a priest. But being a priest has to do with religion. I said, yes. But I said, there is spirituality in religion. That's it. Because religion, it's a community of people that do practices and rituals. And within that religious practice and ritual, you can also find your spiritual evolution with that. So I'm not going to totally discard religion. No, within religion, you can find your evolution pathway to discover your true essence of your identity as a spirit. You know, so we will continue with that. So let's look at this other definition that I have from this slide. So, and that leads me to what are the different types of spirituality. So I got 5 different types of spirituality. We have the mystical spirituality, authoritarian spirituality, intellectual spirituality, and social spirituality. I go over it again. We have mystical spirituality, authoritarian spirituality, intellectual spirituality, and service spirituality, and lastly, the social spirituality. Okay, so if you look at this form of spirituality, let me ask a question. Which one do you think is most common in most community of the world? You can tell me. Which type of spirituality that is most common? Yeah. Anyone? Which type of spirituality is most common?
I think social spirituality.
Okay, thank you, Ambassador. Thank you, social spirituality. Yes, elder person. If you look at this list, which one is most common again, apart from social spirituality? Yep.
Hello. Yeah, I think authoritarian spirituality.
Thank you. What are you mad with? Because tonight I'm going to debunk some mythology about authoritarian spirituality, the danger of that. Yeah, yes, you know, authoritarian spirituality. You know, some people, and because of culture, I'm not against the so-called gurus or I'm not against that, but I have a very strong reservation. When you begin to exalt an individual as a guru, and you believe their words literally as a final authority, that can be very dangerous. That can be, and this is where spirituality and religion mix up and becomes a manipulative weapon to control people. And that's what we are exploring tonight. The danger of authoritarian spirituality. Also, the mystical aspect of spirituality as well. There are many sects over the world that they believe in the mystical form. I'm not having anything against that. I also practice that. I personally practice mystical spirituality. I do that in my belief system. However, a lot of people fail to look at the social part of spirituality. So they want to live all their life in the mystical dimension of spirituality, and they become less relevant to social spirituality. You see what I mean? They become less relevant to the community that they were meant to serve. And that leads us to service spirituality. A true spirituality that is not bringing service to humanity should be questioned. I'll say it again. Any form of spirituality that is not bringing service to humanity, it should be questioned. True spirituality should be social, should be intellectual, and savvy. So from intellectual, service, and social, these are the main components of true spirituality. As we look at them one by one. Now, when we look at the mystical spirituality, this type of spirituality is focused on the intuitional part of the soul. And people who have mystical spirituality believe there's a greater unity to every experience in life. That every experience goes beyond the material or physical world, and everything can be brought into one greater unity. For example, people with this type of spirituality may support the idea that everything happens for a reason. Yeah. And there's a greater explanation behind everything. And that will be what unites all the different experiences. Now, I'm going to pack and talk about this mystical spirituality because a lot of people abuse as they've misinformed people about mysticism, and it has become an egotistical display of so-called spirituality. You see people, they would dress up, and it's so funny that I said to people, you cannot dress spirituality. Spirituality is not in the dressing. No, it's not in the dressing. I remember about 5 or 6 years ago, I was invited to Paris to go and speak in a church. And I just walking on that day, I was wearing my jeans, and I was wearing a blazer. And they didn't even know I was a guest speaker all the way from London. And they were still looking for the guest speaker. And I said, I'm new. So they looked disappointed because I was not wearing my collar. I was not wearing the dress. I was not dressing in the formal way as a priest. Oh, by the way, they call me funky priest, by the way, which I like. So how can you wear jeans? You don't look spiritual. How can you wear jeans? But it's so funny. And why is that? Let's talk about that. Why do people want to put you in a box of this mystical, mysterious part of spirituality? And they want to appear to people that they are very mysterious. I find that very suspicious. Your Royal Highness, what do you think?
Yeah, this is really funny because people are judging the others with their clothes and etc. So you can see some people, they are not doctors, and they dress something and they just say, oh, I am a doctor, and people think really that they are a doctor, and this is what you said is very interesting because you have some people, it's very dangerous. I have heard also some other things, silly stories where the guy, he's religious and he's telling to the others, oh, God told me that you are acting badly. How come your God will speak about me? He's not talking to me directly. Why he will tell you and not to me? You understand? Why God will tell you that you go and tell this person they are acting badly, and he's not coming to me, and you understand? This is why. And sometimes it can be dangerous because you can find some weak people, and they will just follow because they think that because you are wearing these clothes that you have the absolute knowledge, which is not true. When you are teaching something, you have to teach something by absolute knowledge, by experience, and you are not imposing your knowledge to the others. You are just guiding them. You are only guiding them. They will make their own experience. Invite them to make their own experience. Like I say, okay, I am talking with by experience. All right, this is my experience. This is what I find. And tomorrow I will make my evolution, and I will teach also something else. You understand? But I invite everybody not to trust everything. Make your own experience. You learn. You can say, I know how to drive a car when you are driving a car. Don't listen to people. Make your own experience. God, or to find yourself, or to find God, or to find your own spirit is something in private, it's your privacy, it's your intimity. And if you can't make your own experience, you will never understand the language. A lot of people, they are just listening to the religious people or to the others, you know. And this is why it's very dangerous.
Very
this is
dangerous.
why very dangerous.
You're right. Let me give you an
Yes.
example. I grew up in Nigeria, and in this Pentecostal background. I mean, with due respect, what I'm about to say, but this is my experience, and because people can use mystical spirituality to manipulate your life. And if you come from a culture that self-worship people, a culture that worship people, it's even more bad, because it becomes a breeding ground for spiritual manipulation. You see your writings in those days, some of these so-called brothers that say they are very spiritual, and they will come and meet a sister and say, "Oh, God told me you are my wife."
Yes, this is true. And you have also some people, they are really weak. See, for example, just an example, without touching the religion or anything, because I have a lot of respect for the religion. For example, if you see Muslim religion is a very beautiful religion. A religion of love, of unity, and all that. And the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, like we say, he has given a teaching of unity, of love, and all that. And some people now, they are destroying this beauty of this religion and teaching bad things. Result, they are teaching their level of understanding. They have not understood the religion. They have not understood what God wants to the people to understand, what the prophet were spreading, this love and unity and peace. So these people now, what they are doing, they are teaching fake things, where people now, you can find some people killing the others in the name of Allah. You understand?
Yeah.
And that because of some people ignorant who are teaching their ignorance to the others. No, if you read the Quran, this is why I invite everybody to read, to find by yourself. Go deeply within yourself. The truth is not from this world. The reality is not from this world. If you have to go deeply within you and find your own truth, and slowly, you will make your evolution. You cannot go to the light directly. When I say light, I speak about the supreme knowledge. You cannot go to the light directly. From darkness to the light, you are going progressively to that. We are all learning today. We have not yet found the absolute knowledge. We are making our own evolution. And what is light for us today may be darkness tomorrow for us when we are making our own evolution.
Absolutely.
So just go in your rhythm, make your own evolution. And slowly, you will find also the light. And the light, I repeat again, is within you. It's not coming from outside or from anyone. It is written within you. Just go and analyze, observe, and feel. That's it.
Wow, fantastical. Thank you so much, Your Highness. And that's a big challenge, for all of us, not to depend on an external source. I've said it to you that spirituality is a self-discovery of your true essence, the core of who you are. That is your nature. That is who you are. And we have to be careful, not to be looking for a mystical display because all this display, it is purely egotistical. All these are to worship the self. You know, that people, you know, some people, they will dress somewhere and then they will look at you, they will put their face like, oh, they are in the spirit. I laugh a lot, you know, don't mind me. I just laugh and laugh. So that is not true spirituality. That is your ego. You want to display before people. You want people to see. No, that is not true spirituality. True spirituality is natural with you. It's part of who you are. You know, it's like you are a woman now, and then you want to prove to people that you are a woman. Do you need to prove that? No, because you are a woman by nature. So I'm a man by nature. Do I want to prove to people that I'm a man? No. If you are doing that, it's a sign of mental illness, that something is wrong somewhere. You know, you don't need to prove any mystical experience to people so that people will begin to respect you, people will begin to look at you. Those are the wrong interpretation of true mystical spirituality. Yeah, mystical spirituality must become a part of your evolution. You go through mystical spiritual experiences that has cognitive meaning, and that leads us to what's called the intellectual spirituality. In other words, any mystical experience that does not have an intellectual corresponding impact on your mind should be questionable. I will say it again. Any mystical spirituality or spiritual experience that has no impact on your intellectual growth should be questionable. Because true spirituality, whether it's mystical experience, should lead to intellectual spirituality, should lead to the holistic development of your spirit, your soul, your body, and your mind. That is, and to give you a sound mind. That is the whole essence of spirituality, because it takes you above the perception of your natural senses. It takes you above the wavelength of the biological self. So it should have a corresponding, you know, intellectual impact in your life. Anyone that claims to be spiritual and they are intellectual deficient, there's something missing there. Something is actually missing. That is not complete. Yeah. Okay. Let's look at this other one there. Okay. Yes, authoritarian. I think we've touched a little bit about that, which is quite dangerous. One of the most dangerous part of it is this type of spirituality is believing in hierarchical structure of things or in authority. I'm not against authority. Authority should be respected, especially civil authority, the government, the rules, the policy. But the danger is when it comes to spirituality, which is embedded in religious community. It is very dangerous when a man thinks he has become an absolute authority in any form of spirituality. It is very dangerous. People define their spirituality by following a set of rules and some restriction. Now, that is also questionable. There is no rules to spirituality. There is no rule and set of code to follow. That is religion. Religion has a code of practice. Yes, and there are rules there. But when it comes to spirituality, is a personal experience of an evolution. There is no rule to that. There is no formula to spirituality. There is nothing called these are the rules and these are the code to it. No, that is not true. It's like you asking yourself, what is the rule for being a woman? You are a woman by birth. That is your nature. You have genetic evidence to show you are a woman. It's the same thing. In spirituality, you are a spirit. That's your nature. That's the core of your existence. That's who you are. But when you begin to follow rules and begin to follow hierarchy in terms of spirituality, this can be very dangerous. Often this type of spirituality is what? Of course, associated with what? Religious beliefs. Yes. There are cases when not following the spiritual rules of religion may cause conflict. Yeah. People with authoritarian spirituality can develop a form of fundamentalist religion, which is very dangerous. And look at what we find ourselves today. The chaos, the killings. This is coming from authoritarian spirituality. Fundamentalists believe that their religion is the most truthful one. They tend to exclude every other religion. which unfortunately can be the cause for radical religious terrorism. And that's the problem we find. Your Royal Highness, I would like to ask you this question.
Yes, please.
How do we come to a point whereby each religion is claiming to be the right one and condemning each other? How do we arrive at this dangerous state in humanity?
You know, it's for me, it's the level of understanding of everyone. You know, religion, here, the name of religion, it's made to bring people together for the same cause and make the same thinking and go and make the same research. The religions are completing one another. This is why they arrived at a certain period, you know, it's not arrived at the same time. It's arrived at one period, then another one, because one prophet is always sent to a community for them to understand and to be together. Okay, so religions are completing one another, but they feel themselves, they feel themselves in competition. Why? When a religion becomes, you know, based on the consciousness of the ego, built in the consciousness of the ego. And this is why they are all in competition, fighting one another, claiming their authority as being the best one, etc. And all religion are saying the same things: peace, love, unity, respect, help, the solidarity, and all that, but they cannot see that. And because they cannot see that, no religion in this world had the authority to bring peace and change to this world. And this is why we continue to fight one another. Even some religion became a business. You know, for example, the Pope of he is the most richest man in the world. We are talking about Vatican. I'm sorry, I will say it. This is the truth. It became, in some religion, it became a business. Now, before even, for example, let's go in Saudi, the pilgrimage, it was something where you were visiting the things to be together, to enjoy, pray together, because the prayer together is very powerful, but it became a business. And this is why from religion, we have built this consciousness based on ego. And because of that, no chance for the human being to find the solution in a religion. No chance.
That's so profound, Your Highness. And it's so sad. It's so sad that we mix up this, you know, and a lot of so-called authority in the religious circle has inflated ego, you know, inflated ego, and that most of the time leads to self-destruction, you know, and it leads to corruption, because it's no more the selfless sense of identity. It is now the worship of the ego, you know, when spirituality become egotistical. You know, I have that in my culture. You will see a priest standing in front and people will kneel down. They will kneel down to go to a meeting. They will be crawling on their knees to go and be blessed by this, you know. And it's so sad that you know, I mean, it's a very sad picture that you look at, you know.
You know, if you allow me to say something, Professor,
ahead, please. Go ahead, please.
You know, religion is very beautiful things, because it was, let's say, it was created at the beginning to bring people together for the same cause, to unite them. But because we have denatured the religion and the meaning of God, we remain divided and we are killing one another. And if you analyze this world, you will see that 90% of the wars are caused by problem of religion.
That's it. Yeah.
That's it. This is the problem.
Yeah.
So if religion is doing that, it has to be not exposed.
Yeah.
It's something private.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it should not be exposed because there's a beauty and a beautiful message through every religion, every religion. But we have to remain it private and not expose the things.
Yeah.
It's you and your intimacy with God.
Yeah. Yeah. It's personal.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's personal. It's you and your God.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter the religion you are following.
Yeah.
You know, you are going to the same source. We belong to the same source.
Yes.
So this is what I think.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. Last week at the university here in London, I was teaching on this topic called the individual and the society. And so last week we looked at the construction of self-identity. And when we explore that, we find out that religious identity is one of the most profound form of social identity within our world. And I asked the student this question: why do people identify so much with their religious identity over their personal identity? You know, and to the extent that, a lot of people classify you, if you don't belong to their religious community, they don't accept you, they don't respect you, they look at you less of human, and then if you don't follow the religious ritual, they see that you are not close to God. It's so sad, and that's why we need transpersonal psychology, a curriculum to teach people about a non-religious concept of spirituality that identify with the core of who you are. Okay, Prince Rayad, quickly, because of our time, you raise your hand, sir. Yeah.
To me, the key word of spirituality is related with faith. Near about 83% people believe in any religion right now. Do you think the authoritarian spirituality destroy people's spirituality?
Of course, yes. Yeah, authoritarian, of course, it does. Because it's what the Queen said. Nobody can claim absolute enlightenment. No human in this flesh, in this body, nobody can claim to that. And that's what authoritarian spirituality does. Because you see the guru as having absolute knowledge, that a word from them is like the God has come in the physical flesh. No, that's the problem. No human can lay claim to absolute enlightenment. We are all on an evolution journey. We are evolving. It's a pattern of self-discovery. And when people begin to have that concept of authoritarian spirituality, that they lay claim to absolute truth and knowledge about God, it is very dangerous. Check the history. They end up self-destruct. Check the history of humanity. Every culture, every race that people have come out to lay a claim to an absolute authority of spiritual identity, it is always lead to death and destruction. Because no human can have that claim. No. Nobody can claim in this flesh, in this body, in this earth suit, to lay claim to absolute enlightenment. So it's very dangerous. And that's why we are encouraging every one of you to find your own evolution pathway. It's a personal experience. And that's why I started today by defining what is spirituality. It's an intimate personal journey with you and whatever you believe that is God. People have different concepts of God. So authoritarian spirituality is very dangerous. It leads to fundamentalism, which can lead to terrorism. Yeah, and that's what we see happen now. The other day I was looking at the Shiites and the Sunnis in Iraq, and I was like, what? Look at the bombing, look at the destruction, that is happening. You know, the same thing in the history of the world, you know, even the Crusaders, you know, all over the history, religion has been the major cause of war. And it's still a major problem that we have in our world today. And that's why we are advocating a curriculum of spirituality, not religion. You know, and that's the whole idea behind transpersonal psychology, which simply means psychology of spirituality. Okay, so thank you for sharing that. Let's quickly, because of our time. So we look at authoritarian, we look at mystical, and then let's talk about the intellectual ginger, the intellectual. Yes, intellectual spirituality. You ask me, this is my most beautiful form of spirituality that I love. You know, intellectual spirituality. Spirituality within my intellect. The core belief behind this type of spirituality is knowledge. That's it. Intellectually spiritual people are prone to gaining knowledge of spiritual theories, analyzing the information they get their hands on. One form of this spiritual journey is studying theology, for example. However, this type of spirituality is not solely related to study religion. Any knowledge that helps people improve their spirituality is a form of what? Intellectual spirituality. Your Honors, the writing of your book is a journey into intellectual spirituality. What do you think?
Absolutely. Yes. You know, it's very important to understand. And you know, when it's said that we are created at the image of God. Okay. We know now that it's not physically, but we have the same spirit, and we are an extension of the Spirit of God.
Yeah.
You know, when we speak about the light, we are speaking about the supreme intelligence. When we speak about love, we speak about faith. When your supreme intelligence and your faith are together, you are creative. This world is in creation all the time. You see, we have been created with this light. And when we discover our real identity, we will discover that there is a supreme intelligence in every being.
Yeah.
You understand? Because we are made, if you analyze this, also this body, you will see a combination of cells, the cells together. But the cell, if you analyze the cell, how it is working, you will see that the cell has the capacity to accept what is good and to reject what is bad. So there's an inherent inner consciousness and intelligence in every cell. You understand? So the supreme intelligence is already within us. So for saying we are we are supreme intelligence, yes, and that you can find it through every talent that we have to reveal within us. You see? So we are already supreme intelligence and unconditional love. Our thoughts are creative. Our emotions are creative. So, Brother Femi, what about saying that emotional intelligence? You know, it is also part of the intellectual spirituality.
Yes, I like that. I think you're honest. What I find out, because my personal journey, I started from mystical spirituality at the age of 12, and what the opportunity I had is when I eventually got this opportunity to come and work in England as a priest, I decided to explore intellectual spirituality. And that is what led me into transpersonal psychology, to study the psychology of spirituality through analyzing what is the impact of true spiritual knowledge. You know, you remember a few months ago, we look at spiritual knowledge itself. One of the classes, we look at the epistemology of spiritual knowledge, you know. And one thing I find out, which I'm going to ask Your Royal Highness, which is one of my fundamental problems that I have with the so-called religious people, because one of the research that we did, which is purely evidence that when people are overly engaged in religious activity, they tend to neglect their intellectual growth. You know, and especially one of the skills that we find that is lacking in most spiritual, so-called spiritual religious people is critical analysis, critical thinking skills. Because they just use these mystical experiences and then they forget the intellectual aspect of spirituality. That the knowledge you gain from spiritual mystical experience should be an improvement into your practical knowledge that will have impact on your decision-making process. You know, that will cause you to make better decisions about your life. You know, but the opposite is the case. You know, you see a lot of so-called religious people are mentally lazy. Your Royal Highness, I can talk of the religion I belong to, Christianity. They become so mentally lazy. They won't pursue their dream. They will say, "Oh, Jesus is coming tomorrow," and then they are waiting for Jesus to come, and they want to leave. You know, they are heavily minded, heartily useless. That's what I say to them. You know, they don't impact into their society, so they lack service spirituality, they lack social spirituality. They just become isolated in their religious community without making impact in the society. You know, look at what God is using you to do, Your Royal Highness. The vision that God has given to you about success worldwide. You can see that it's impacting nations, it's impacting life. And to me, that is true spirituality. You got this vision through the mystical experiences, Your Royal Highness, and that's it, and it's impacting life. It's improving the quality of human existence, and that is, to me, is true spirituality, service spirituality, social spirituality, intellectual spirituality, not just the mystical spirituality that is egotistical, that you want people to respect you because of your so-called mystical experiences. It does my head in, Your Royal Highness. Yes.
Thank you so much, Professor Oluwafemi. You are right. People, they are hiding themselves. You know, they find their comfort behind Jesus or all that. They say, oh, God will help me. So see, there's something very amazing, and we have to learn about and really pay attention to something. People think that there is the redemption of the sin. Okay, people think that Jesus gave his life by the sacrifice. Okay, in reality, it is a big illusion. You know, when some people, they are experiencing some challenges, they immediately blame God. God, what I have done to you? Why you are punishing me? So
oh, we lost you. Audio. Okay, Your Highness, maybe you are back. While we are waiting for her, Prince Riyad, do you want to quickly tell us your contribution or your question? Yes, Prince Riyad, quickly, while we're waiting for the audio from our Royal Highness. Yeah,
I can hear you. Thanks a lot to give me a chance once again. I know many people in the world, they can't believe in any religion, but they are very much intellectual. They believe in their talent, knowledge, and wisdom. They're fully dependent on their own knowledge and own wisdom. They told me you are backdated, guys. It's a knowledge-based and ICT-based society. Why do you believe in religion right now? Do you think at present the importance of religion is decreasing day by day?
Of course, yes, you are right. The importance of religion is decreasing day by day. You are absolutely right. The evidence is out there. You know, it's out there. You know, the more countries, especially in the Western world, are becoming what they call it secularized. You know, they said the rise of secularism is emerging in the Western world. And why is that? It is part of the lack of intellectual spirituality from religious people. And that's the problem, you know, that is causing that. That is making religion not to become something that open-minded people want to embrace or to identify with. It's just because of the lack of the intellectual spirituality that is not being displayed by the so-called religious people, you know, and that's what has happened, because it is evidence that, in fact, one debate is going on in my country of birth, in Nigeria, that they look at the most religious countries of the world. They are the most poorest, one of the most poorest countries of the world, yes. And they look at the less religious countries of the world, and they are one of the most rich and rich countries of the world. So the evidence are out there that you cannot find the correlation between religion and economic growth. You know, so what is going on? I mean, the answer is there. The missing link is there because of lack of intellectual spirituality, that the so-called religious experiences is not improving your intellectual development, and it's not improving your capital development, your human capital development. I mean, it's not being developed in most of the country. So it is obvious and it is clear that religion has negative impact in most economies of the world, and that is why it's not becoming a popular product or market in most Western world. Yes, Your Royal Highness, please go ahead and finish your contribution. Yes, can you hear me, ma?
Sorry, I lost the connection and I came back. I can't hear. Can you repeat? It was for me, Professor Oluwafemi.
Yes, Prince Red asked a very good question. That religion is becoming less attractive, to a lot of people, and he was like, "Why is that?" For example,
this is very interesting. Why it's less attractive? Because people are making their own evolution. Mm-hmm. Because more you will find the way of God, and more you are going to the light of spirituality. Okay. Before you were searching God, now you have found him, and you have just fulfilling and making some experience to become the best expression of yourself.
Yeah.
You understood that there is no God that will punish you or all that. You just understood. You just understood that you are here, that God is here for you, within you, and through you. He is acting. God is, I repeat, I will say like Professor Oluwafemi, I repeat again.
Yeah.
I repeat again.
Yes.
I repeat again. God is here for you, within you, and acting through you.
Yeah.
And that it is the reality. But people will understand it when they will make their own experience with God. And again, the truth is in the cause, not in the effects. So you cannot find the truth in this physical world. You have to go to the spirit.
Yeah.
And to arrive in this level, you have to leave the world of darkness, which is a world of ignorance. You understand? And the world of darkness has several levels, like the world of light has several levels. Go slowly, and discover who you are. At the minute you know yourself, you are already in the process of knowing God. God has not hidden himself from us. He is everywhere. He is within us. in the space.
Yeah.
And it's even better than that. He is the space himself.
Yes.
You know, you have some scientists who are asking me, oh, I don't trust God. I don't believe in God. Where you can find God. So I was saying, you see, you are analyzing everything with atom. You are right. This universe is a giant atom. This is true, where the proton, the electric and magnetic are exchanging together. Right? And where to find God in this big system? Remember, in the atom, there's a space. And this space is what we call God, the universal consciousness. So people who are even the scientists who are searching God, tell them it's not only in the space of the atom, it is the space.
Yeah, you're right. I want to support you through chemistry. You know, I did biochemistry in the university, in College of Medicine. And there's what we call entropy. Entropy means the degree of chaos. You know. And if you look at the Big Bang theory that says, you know, there was an explosion. And the question is, if you have an explosion, how can a chaos lead to orderliness without an agent monitoring the process? Do you see that?
Yeah.
So there's a chaos, boom, bam, and then the chaos.
Yes, you know, it's very interesting because even the Big Bang, if you analyze the things, it is the Big Bang. If there is not a supreme intelligence behind it, there's not this explosion. We are living in a world of unity, in its exploded and divided version, and everything is moving in the perfect system, in the perfect order. There's an order behind everything, because the order is one of the principles of God. This is true.
And let me even support that from Newton's laws of motion. Now, one of the laws of motion says every object continues in its state of rest or uniform motion unless an external force is applied.
Absolutely. Yeah. Wow. So, you know, it's like I am not a scientist, but when you find the truth within you, you find God within you, and you see God in every creation. So everything. This is why we cannot judge anyone. We cannot blame anyone. There's a reason behind every challenge. And we have to see the situation always with love, acceptance, and it has to serve for our own evolution, because we are living an experience, a perpetual experience, and our evolution, one of the principles of God is evolution. All what is born grow up and make an infinite evolution. Even when this body is over, you know, because he has to obey to the law of nature and he will die. You continue as a spirit to make your evolution. It's never end. It will never end. You know. So this is why it's I said that I am not scientist, but when you find that and you see the beauty and life and consciousness and God everywhere, I can assure you that you will understand every sector. You will understand science, psychology, politics, everything, because everything will become logical for you.
Exactly.
Because life is logical. Life is consciousness, and consciousness is life.
Yeah, it's absolutely beautiful because it's simple, what we call the logic of reason, the logic of reason. Again, that goes back to the intellectual spirituality, and that's one thing we observe, that religious people, they don't want to engage in intellectual analysis and intellectual debate, about their belief system, because they become very, very protective. And it's so funny, when you see them behaving that way, they become so mystical, mysterious, and like they are holding a sacred information that they don't want you to have access to it. I laugh at that because that is not according to the logic of reason. If you believe in something that you really believe in its existence, then bring it to the light for you to analyze it and to see the impact of that in your life. The other day I challenged, about 5 years ago, I was speaking in the parish, and I challenged, the thinking pattern that people go out and they want to evangelize, they want to make you to believe their faith. And I asked one question, and the question is, why should your neighbor believe in your God? Why should your neighbor believe in your God? That was my question. What is in your life that will attract other people to follow your God? And some people find it very, very challenging. Say, yeah, you're just telling somebody, oh, you're just telling them, come and believe in my God. My God will bless you. My God will do that. Why should I believe in your God? That's the question. What is it in your life that will make me to live what I believe and adopt your belief? And because every human has right to their own belief. That's it. Every human has right to their own belief system. And that is part of the universal human right, the right to your belief system. And that is your spirituality. Because spirituality is a belief system about yourself. It is not something you can impose on other people. No, that's the problem I have with religious people. Don't impose your idea of God on other people. Every human has the right to their own idea of God. Why? God is universal, is infinite. Why should I adjust my view of God to your own view of God? No, that is very limiting. Why should I? Because God is infinite, and he has the right, in theology, you call it the right of creation. He has the right to reveal himself to anybody without being in any four walls of any religious gathering. Yeah. That's it. He can expose himself. He can reveal himself. You can find your evolution in any place. You don't need to be in a particular geographical location for you to experience your true evolution of yourself. Why is that? Because spirit has no physical limitation. That's it. Some people, until I pray 5 times in a day, until I go to the wall, until I get there, before I feel spiritual. No, that is confusion. That is religion. You don't need to be in a physical place to be spiritual. You are a spiritual being already. That's it. You don't need to. That's not spirituality. That's religion. Okay, let's quickly finish this up, and then we can take questions because of our time. Spirituality, as experiencing spiritual awakening when you are surrounded by other people. Yes, explain this type of spirituality. Many people practice being around other people when searching for greater spiritual purpose in life. Being in a religious group is one way to experience this spirituality. However, this can also be achieved with any other form of a group, like exercising nature related activities like meditation. Since there are multiple types of spirituality, that's it. There's also various ways of spiritual practices too. That's it. There are multiple types. You cannot just put yourself. I love that you're right. You said religion is belief and spirituality is faith. Yes, faith. That's powerful. To believe. Faith. The belief in the unseen to achieve the impossible. The unseen realm, the unseen dimension, which is your nature, your true nature, seeing through your chakra, seeing through the eyes of your spirit, in illumination, and that's the beauty of really spirituality, because through that you are able to birth your purpose, your vision. You know, I mean, your awareness, you've shared your experience when you received the vision for Success World One. You know, the question is, that vision has been in existence before it manifests, isn't it? But you saw it through the eyes of faith, and that is true spirituality. And I'm going to encourage all of us, many of us, there are visions within us that we need to give birth on this planet. And that is true spirituality. Finding your purpose, your assignment in life, what you are here to deliver for humanity. That is true spirituality. You know, and as a leader, I was sharing that yesterday with Sister Munira. As a leader, you need to create that forum, that atmosphere where your followers, people that join your organization, they can find their vision and they can release their vision. They can find their vision in your vision. To me, that is true spirituality. Finding their vision in your vision. It takes a spiritual person with a vision, a leader that has spiritual eyes to see that, to look at people and believe in them, to see the impossible within them when they don't even believe in themselves. That is true spirituality. And that is what is called transpersonal leadership. I mean, one of these days we'll be looking at that concept, you know, transpersonal leadership, you know, which is the solution to ethical leadership that we are lacking in our leadership of today. Because many leaders, they are not leaders, you know, they are after their own ambition. You know, many leaders claim to be leaders without vision. All they see is their pocket. You know, I don't want to go into that tonight, you know. So yeah, let's quickly, that is social spirituality. And then the next thing we look at, we want to look at service spirituality. Where's that one? Okay, service spirituality. This is one of the most common types of spirituality. It is because people experience spiritual peace when they serve others. There are many ways to achieve this spirituality, but the core of it is helping others without expecting nothing in return. Your Royal Highness, doing something that will benefit someone without getting something back is a common way for people to get in touch with their spiritual self. Your Royal Highness, I'm going to make a bold declaration today. And
yes, please.
I'm not going to care about people's feedback about this. What I've seen, many so-called NGOs, you know, leaders, they are not in the service for humanity, but they are there for their pocket.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know, I agree. I have seen also, and this is what sometimes can be disappointing. But we are not here to judge anyone. They will understand by themselves. When you are doing charity for someone, don't think that you are doing charity for someone. You are doing charity for yourself. You are not expecting anything in exchange. You are doing that for with your heart. Don't think that you are doing charity. Remember, you are only an instrument that God used to help the others. You are only the instrument that God used to help the others. And the other is another you. You are not doing the charity for them. You are doing the charity for themselves, for yourself. And you know, I will even tell you, I will go beyond that. I will tell you, the person who receives your help will certainly thank you and say, thank you for helping me. No, in reality, you have to thank them to accept your help.
Yes.
You have to thank them to accept your help. Why? Because you are doing the charity for yourself. Yeah. All what we are doing, bad or good, we will get it back tomorrow. Don't think that you can escape or modify the law of cause and effect. It's impossible. No way. We have to accept the situation and control our thoughts, control our emotion and our actions and all what we are saying. Don't speak badly about the others if you don't want them to speak tomorrow badly about you. Don't laugh at the others if you don't want to be loved tomorrow by others, you know. So do the things with your own heart. And you see, Brother Femi, you have some, as you said, this is the truth. Some NGOs are doing that to get money. But there's no money now. What they will do? What they will do? They were not working when they had the money. Now there's money, no money. What we will do? What they will do? They are collecting. They are reaping what they have, what they sow. Exactly. So all what you are doing, you are collected it one day. Be sure of that.
Yeah, because you're honest.
So we are not paying attention to that. We continue with our heart without expecting anything in exchange.
Because the truth of the matter, people take advantage of the poor, and it's so sad. In the name of charity, looking for funding, looking for how to get money out of people. And I don't really understand that. And they will be attached themselves to a religious philosophy, or they will claim that they are doing charity in the name of God. And I said, no.
People who are acting that they have certainly not found God, I'm telling you. Because God, if you understand, when you are a leader, you understand that God is here at your service, helping you in every manner. Who more than God can help you or love you? He is completely at your service, like a father and mother.
Exactly.
You know?
Exactly.
So you cannot use this authority and to just scam the people. It's not, you are just scamming yourself.
And that's it's so rampant nowadays. You're right. It's everywhere. You see this the explosion of so-called charities all over the world, and you begin to ask yourself a question: do they really love humanity? Did they really love people? Did they really? Why are we doing this? Is it not to worship the god of ego, the self? And looking for comfort. So because a lot of people have a distorted way to making money, and I mean, some of the costs. Remember there was a time we explore transpersonal empowerment, which I'm still going to revisit that topic. What is the true sense of, what is the link between spirituality and your talent, which is pretty obvious. You are giving your talent to solve problems for humanity, and when you do that, you will get paid. So you don't need to lie. So what the solutions that your gift and talent, I was telling my student at the university when we're looking at employability, I said, and entrepreneurship. And I said, it's simple. Solve a problem and get paid. You don't need to manipulate people to get money. There's a law. You solve a problem, you get paid. So what problem are you solving? Either through service or through goods. Solve a problem and then you get paid. So it is simple. So why are we now, trying to build, I'm helping the poor, my heart goes to the poor, but where are you getting the money from? Why are you there? And I've seen this over and over, all over the Facebook, all over every social media, people springing up, and then you begin to ask yourself the question, with all these charities, are we really solving problems? Are people really genuine? Why are they doing this? What is your heart? Why are you involved in this charity? Why do you want to be part of this charity? These are questions that people should ask themselves and to reflect upon that. Anyway, I want to say thank you to every one of you that come here. I got 6
Don't go yet. We have just Prince Riyadh who wants to say something. So
yes,
and please, before you go, because we just we started just a little bit late, so just Ask some people if they have some question, please, Professor.
Sorry, Your Honor, because I'm very British. I'm
Yes, but before being British, you are Nigerian, brother. You are from Africa, just like me. So before being British,
we have African time, we have British time.
Yeah.
I think, okay. I mean, you have the permission of our Royal Highness. Yes, brother. Prince. Where are you? Yes, sir.
Thanks once again.
Welcome,
we know that you are renowned professor. Really, you are very much skilled, talented, innovative, experienced, and intellectual, spiritual. You have spent a long journey to provide quality teaching. So you have accumulated in plenty of experience. My question is, how do you differentiate your service spirituality versus intellectual spirituality?
Okay. Wow, that's an interesting question. I mean, thank you. Thank you for all these beautiful accolades that Prince you give to me, and I'm going to tell my mom about that tomorrow. So yes, sir. Like I said, my journey, my personal journey, sir, started from the church, and it started from mystical experiences. I can remember in 1985, in the month of August, was my first epiphany mystical experience in the church, and that was my own evolution pathway started in 1985. So I started with that, and I had a lot of mystical experiences. Out of body experience. I still have them, of course. I still do have them. Angelic visitations. I traveled a lot in the spirit. I would sleep. I would come back to my body. And I would. I didn't even know that it was a gift or something that people. But I was experiencing that. To me, it was normal. I felt it was normal until I began to encounter some elders, and they were like, "Oh, those things that happens to you is not ordinary. That you are a messenger that is sent by God." I never thought about that. I didn't see myself as being special, by the way, So yeah. So and after that, I was studying. I was in school, and I always wanted to be a doctor, as in medical doctor. And in my country of birth, it's very difficult to get into medical school. But I was fortunate, so I passed my exam, and so I went to medical school. As University of Ibadan. They said it's the best in South of Sahara. The medical school I went to. So I was there in medical school. So you can see my journey. I moved from mystical, spiritual experiences, and then I went to medical school, and then I began to study medicine. Biochemistry, anatomy, physiology. I begin to look at the human body. But then I felt that there's something missing. Something was missing. I was looking at this connection between the two. So I've learned from my experience, I've learned to separate the two. So there's a place of spiritual experience, that is spiritual intellectualism, and there is a place of what I call cognitive intellectualism. So it was that journey that made me to separate the two. And then when I left medical school, because at a point in time I had another epiphany, and I had to leave medical school, and I went to study theology. So I went into theological seminary college, and I was there for 2 whole years full time. And at the end of the 2 years, I was ordained as a priest. And again, I still find out that there's something missing. There's this quest in my heart that something is still missing. So I had mystical experiences, I had medical experiences, I have theological knowledge. So I went to intellectual spirituality by studying theology. And so along the line, I've developed the ability to separate these lines. I call them developmental lines. Your intellect, your cognitive intellect, your spiritual intellect, and your body, your body, your biological development. So so it is what my experience helped me to differentiate. And so I have one famous word, I call it psychosomatic. Let me put it on the chart. And what do I mean by that? It simply means when you're from the word somatic. That's what I find very interesting about this journey. Now, if you look at the word psycho, it's from the Greek word suke. We have the mind, and soma, which simply means body cell. So I noticed that in my search and in my knowledge that there is an impact of the mind on the body. So when the mind is sick, the body is sick. So there's a link which is purely evidence, So from there, I tend to separate the two, from there. And then I came to England some 13 years ago as a priest. There was opportunity for me to come. There was actually an advert for a job in England that they were looking for a priest. And so I applied, and then I was opportunity. I came here and I applied and I got a job. And I'm still a priest, but a very funky one. So I decided to look into psychology of spirituality. And to me, that was the balance, So you can see the journey from mysticism into medical science, then into theology, and then I end up in psychology. So that's what gave me a kind of what I call a multiple perspective to life. To look at how these forces, they interact to affect our whole being. So that's why it takes experience and it takes practice to differentiate this body of knowledge. And then I also went into education. I became a teacher and a lecturer. And so that's combined, I call it a combined honor to look at the impact of all these aspects of human development. So I don't mix them together because I separate them. For example, when I'm talking about church things, spiritual things, I separate it from my pragmatic way of life, like hardworking, like the principle of study, like for some people believe, oh, because you are very spiritual, God will help you to pass your exam without you putting effort into it. All these misconceptions that some people do have, about spirituality and pragmatism. I'm a very pragmatic person. I truly believe in my hand. I'm talking about in reality that you have to be hardworking, you have to know your stuff, you have to believe in excellence. So I don't mix them together. Yes, thank you for that question. I hope I was able to give you a snapshot of my journey. Thank you, Brother Emmanuel. Yes, Ambassador Hamed. Yes, sir.
Well, thank you so much for giving me the floor once again. Well, I have to actually agree with you as well as the Sister Nadia because of the so-called NGOs motive. It's a local, yes, I extremely agree with you. There is so-called local NGOs, their motive to show the bigger things rather than to keep some money for themselves. This is the main, I have to say, the main negative thing as a so-called charitable work. In the case of, they took the donation with the less work and get the most benefit for themselves. Why I say so? Because professionally, I am working in international French NGO, that is Action Contre la Faim, in English, Action Against Hunger. Basically, this organization working in 50 plus countries, and where the Nigeria mission is the one largest mission, and Bangladesh mission is the second largest mission. So in this NGO activities, most of the 90% activities are for the Rohingya refugees. So for the Rohingya refugees betterment, we work hard, and professionally, I'm working at the headquarters in Bangladesh. So as a finance officer, audit and compliance. So if I consider that this my work is kind of charitable work or there's the professional work. So if I have to consider that, yes, first of all, this is my professional work because I'm the liable to keep the compliance, ensure the audit, and so other things. In the other portion, yes, for our organization perspective, some portion of the Rohingya refugees, they are benefited, they survive their better life. And why I choose the international organization for my professional place, because the international organization overall activities are crystal clear. They are not motive to like keep some money for the better themselves, rather than to give the actual money to the beneficiaries, rather than to keep themselves, because every single of your penny are auditable to the international audit, donor audit, and I mean external audit, internal audit. So there is a 4 types of audit are facing of each project. So yes, I'm extremely agree with you. And yes, by the name of charity, by the name of what I have to say, by the name of charity, you can't do this kind of work that are not meant by the NGOs. So yes, that's all about I have to say, because NGOs are bring the changes for the underprivileged people who are not getting the actual benefit, but at the same time, the local NGOs just cancel the
yes, Ambassador, I want to add something. I mean, sorry for cutting you short. Just
sure, please.
I've had this discussion with our Royal Highness. You see, the model that most NGO that are even genuine, the model of giving people free money and looking for their needs, like emergency relief donations, it's not a sustainable path to employability. It's not sustainable.
That's true.
Because I mean your Royal Highness, she will support me here. I've had hours of discussion with her Royal Highness on this. That we are looking when you meet people's physical needs, they become dependent, and that is one of the limited approach to that. So I strongly believe that they should move beyond that, meeting the initial relief which is needed to sustainable empowerment of the refugees, and this is where the issue of education comes in, skills acquisition comes in, people to be trained to become economic independent. This is what I strongly believe.
Yes. I am extremely admire with you. That is, yes, our organization are doing so, because there is a department of mental health and awareness. There's a department of gender, and there's a department of FSL, that is food security and livelihood. So all these department are doing their work for their sustainable development, as well as to make them independent for themselves, to earn money, as well as to can do something for their betterment. Because I think only the giving the food, only giving some clothes and some stuffs, that would be a great, rather than to train them to be independent themselves. So our organization are mainly focused on those sectors, because by giving the food, it will be temporary. It won't be a sustainable. It won't be a sustainable work. But in the case of development themselves, to do something better for themselves. So yes,
absolutely,
our organization are focusing on that.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Thank you, Ambassador.
This is very interesting. I just want to say something. People, I agree, and this is why in Successful One I had another vision, and the vision is completely different. When you are fighting against poverty and you want to eradicate poverty completely, you have to get out from every system of dependence. This kind of donation, this claiming donation from people. This is why in Successful One, and everybody can say that, and you can see everywhere, Successful One never claimed for any donation. Why? Because we are against this kind of system. We are not donating money or anything. We are building a system. We are building beyond sustainable development. We are creating an economic reality that they will get everybody out from the system of dependence. So when I see, for example, in Africa, they are suffering for more than 500 years. They have all the wealth, they have all the resources, but they remain dependent on others because their mind is infected by this disease that we call poverty. And if you see, you focus on abundance that you see around you, you know, and you built in the image of this abundance, that you are abundance and you have within you and around you, you will get out from this system of dependence. So this is why I prefer to create an economic reality and not give to someone something that will be ephemeral. Yes, I will give you food today, and tomorrow how you will do. For example, in Nigeria, what we have done, to empower the people, to empower the women, and we have an amazing woman, also leader in Nigeria, Her Excellency Gladness. So what she did, she is just an example for the people. What she did, she went to visit a village where you have a lot of widows there. They have a lot of children and they are widows. And it's very difficult for them to feed their children. They are begging for food, they are begging for clothes and all that. What she did, she just came with the team of Success World One that we have there, of women, and she was teaching them how, training them how to make soap. And thanks to that, these widows, they are now independent, making their own soap and selling that to the market or selling that in the streets for people. Now they have created their own income and not depending anymore. Because when you are depending on the others, you will eat during 1 week and the other week it will be another headache. You understand? Absolutely. And this is why Success World One is not in Success World One. I am making my own economic reality and not depending on anyone to give me donation. This is the difference between Success World One. And no one in this world can say we have donated to Success World one penny. It's not true, because we always paid with our pocket. Because we are fighting and we want to eradicate poverty from this planet. Absolutely. This is the only way to do it.
Thank you so much. Yes, Mr. Mo, you raise your hand. Go ahead, sir.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, we can hear you, sir.
Yeah, I am Mohammad Zubair. I am Assistant Professor of Education. I am from India. Thank you. I teach in the Department of Education of bachelor's and master degree students. I teach education psychology and special education there. Fantastic. So I listen all the lecture today. So I want to say some few lines about it. For example, when we talk about the spirituality, you were talking about spirituality. So spirituality means, in my opinion, inner purification, who we are and what is the actual aim of our lives, and how to get real happiness in our lives. And when we talk about spirituality, the primary thing is that, am I audible?
Yes, you are. Go ahead, sir.
Okay. Sorry. I think I thought some network issue there. Okay. So when we talk about, in our lives, we face many difficulties because I am teaching in the university, and sometimes people feel, sometimes people use abusive language, drinking, smoking, gambling, suicides, and no respect to elders. So spirituality give them a good, satisfaction to them. As a teacher, I always try these things in my problem solving sessions, in my counseling sessions, in my meditation and yoga sessions. I use and psychological aspects. We can use this in our curriculum as well. Because when we talk about spirituality, we can self-management, we can create self-management in the school, in the universities, positive approach in our students, discipline, control over emotions, because we are human beings and we all have emotions, and code of conduct, laws, respect for others, democratic way, in democratic manner, healthy mind and body, creative thinking, and emotional intelligence. So these be the change you want to see. A single seed has the power to green the whole world, in my opinion. So these are the things because education is the foundation for a good and fulfilling life, and setting the individuals on a path of personal fulfillment and economic security and societal contribution. And when we talk about spiritual education, it gives these things to us. So this was a good topic and good discussion and productive.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for that feedback and contribution. And we are very happy to have you in our midst today. Yes. Your Highness, back to you.
Yes, I think that so it was just an amazing session today again. I enjoy it, and it's. I hope that all people who are and were with us enjoyed also this session. You are just amazing, Professor Oluwafemi. We can't wait the next session next Monday at the same time, 7 p.m. France time. And so thank you so much. And just one thing that I will say to Brother Ade. Yes, Brother Ade, leaders are also dealers, and I hope that you are not one of them. Yeah, you have some leaders who are dealers. This is true, and I hope you are not one of them.
I'm not my coin.
Okay.
He's always hiding his face. Oh my.
So when I saw that, I was just laughing, and I just want to say also to our brother Derek. He said that this session is just so mind blowing. It's a headache. He has to think too much now.
Oh, bless him. Bless him.
Abby, yeah. So thank you to everybody. Thank you to our Honorable Monera for being also with us, and all the people from Global University who joined us today. It's just amazing. Thank you also to Sarah who also with us. This time she's not participating. I don't know what is going on, but we bless her, and we are so happy that she is with us. And also Professor Noor Ahmed, our brother Noor Ahmed, who is with us, and Dimitrios and Emmanuel, of course. We thank everybody. Vilma was with us, and a lot of people. Thank you. And we say good night to everybody.
Bye-bye.
And have a blessed evening, and thank you so much. And
thank you. Have a wonderful night.
Bye. Thank you.
Yeah,
Take care.
thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.